Hello and welcome to the instructions of Constellation Quest. To begin, you'll want to assemble your board. For the assembly of the board, all the letters should be facing in the same direction, so all the C's and the Z's should be read in the same upwards facing order. This is just that all players can see what's going on kind of clearly, and all of the arrows should be pointing in the same direction. To start, all players should draw from a shuffled deck of the Zodiac cards. Every player should have 7 cards. Throughout the course of the game, the player should only have 7 cards in their hand, whether it be through discarding or gaining another card. If you pick up a card, you should always make sure that there's 7 and get rid of the card that you do not want. For this demonstration, we are going to be using makeup. Every player should spin, and then the highest number spun by any player should be the first person to go, and then it goes clockwise from there over which player picks which section. From there, a player can either spin to move forward, or they can choose to trade with other players. If you're ever confused about what cards you should be collecting, there should be a pamphlet within the game which will show you what each element belongs to. For trading, a player will ask another player if they have a particular card. If they do not, then the turn is lost, but if they do, the player has to give that player their card and then draw a new one. If a player lands on a chance tile or spins the chance, they have to pull a chance card and then do whatever is on that card regardless of the consequences. It's important to note that no 2 characters can be in the same element at the same time, except in special cases, which I will refer to later, but make sure that every character stays in their own section. Now, once you've collected all 3 of the zodiacs necessary for the element and you are in that same element, such as collecting all 3 earth signs when you are in earth, you can now discard. If the player that is in air had all 3 of these cards, they could not discard because they need to be in earth. Once you have completely gone through an element, you can now move on to a different element. Just make sure to note that the player in that element has moved past at least 50% of the tiles. Otherwise, you cannot move into that element. You're going to have to pick a different one, even if it is one that you have already been into. In order to win the game, you will have to go through all 4 elements and collect all 3 cards for all 4 of those elements. This might require having to go through an element multiple times or needing to trade with players instead of going through an actual turn, but in the end, you should have 12 cards in total, each of them different, but all of them belonging to the same suite of signs.